Yo, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It is Flam. Welcome you all back to a brand new video to the channel. Today, guys, we are currently 8 days away from the Isle of Armor being released worldwide, which is very exciting. Something to us Pokemon fans ever since we started Sword and Shield and what was coming up to, like, let's say a brand new remake or a new game or new gen or DLC, whatever the heck they were going to do. And I think it was mid-January, which is crazy to me because we're almost at the mid of June, that we got information of DLC happening. This is the first time ever in Pokemon history that we are having this. Of course, the Isle of Armor coming out literally, like I said, in 8 days. And the Crown Tundra is still yet to actually have a release date, but we know it's going to be somewhere in the fall, so most likely October or November. My personal guess is November. Hey, here, guys, we have a little bit of rumors for the Isle of Armor, the Crown Tundra, and the new Pokemon game that's going to be coming out in 2021. Personally, guys, for this video, it could all be fake, but there's always rumors out there, right? It's not just for Pokemon. It's been for other video games. It's been for movies or TV shows, whatever it might be, that some of this information could actually be legit, and the others could just be fake, or this whole entire article could be fake, or it's actually all true altogether. It's really cool to kind of speculate all this and actually see if we go into the Isle of Armor or the Crown Tundra or even the 2021 game. This information that I just provided right here is actually really cool, and it was a great source to look at. So I feel like we should just hop into this video and also just look at this article and see if we find some good stuff out of it. So right here, guys, I have the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra. Like I said, this is the leak, and also for, of course, this information and for the next Pokemon game, I'll put both of them down in the description below if you guys want to check them out for yourselves personally after watching this video. But here, it talks about the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, story-wise, to new Pokemon, new items, and all that other stuff. So let's begin right here. I'm waiting to leak this until the last trailer before the Isle of Armor release drops, so that was 3 or 4 days ago, which is weird. But Isle of Armor, it says here that the story takes about 4 hours. That's not really surprising. It's a DLC. It's not going to be like 10 plus hours where like the original game was, or for Pokemon or anything like that. I feel like a lot of people are going to complain about that, but at the exact same time, I feel like with the Isle of Armor, it just focuses on Cubfu to go to Urshifu. And by the time you're done that, and maybe versus like Mustard or Clara or Avery, depending on what versions that you have of the game, you're basically going to be done the story. I think that when people look into the Isle of Armor, it's just kind of old Pokemon and new Pokemon that's going to be in the scenery. And personally, for me, that's what I care about. I love the story, to be honest. I can't wait to play it, but it's to be expected to be, you know, this short. But it's still going to be fun at the exact same time. There are more Galarian forms such as Dustox, a Sword exclusive, Beautyfly, Shield exclusive, Seal, Dewgong, Phanpy, which gets a new evolution instead of Dolphin. So one thing I want to talk about is Dustox has been the #1 rumored Pokemon for the Isle of Armor 100%. If you guys don't know, with Clara, she is of course a Sword exclusive character that of course the people that do have Sword will be playing against her, and then the people that have of course Shield will verse against Avery. But the little bow that she has literally represents a Dustox here, and we have no information about that yet. And that's one thing I want to go throughout the DLC for the Isle of Armor, since we are a week away from this actually premiering. Are they going to do some sort of stuff where Pokemon trailers, like it shows kind of like one Pokemon if it's a Galar form, or if it's just a new Pokemon, and they show like maybe like a 30-second clip? I could say Zarude is a great example of that. Or are they going to keep it quiet about this? Because I feel like that's what I really love about Pokemon and Game Freak right now, is they're keeping a lot of stuff hidden. I feel like everything we saw in the trailer and all that stuff, there's a lot more to come to these DLCs than we know. And to be honest with you, if it's new Galarian forms or new Pokemon in general, and you know how freaking cool it would be for Pokemon to like experience, you know, if it's a YouTuber or streamers or whoever it might be, for people that we didn't get any leaks or let's say any trailers for any new Pokemon, and you go into the grass and you stumble upon like a brand new Pokemon or whatever it might be. That's really cool. You know, you could do that without watching the trailers or anything like that, but just imagine like everyone doing that at the exact same time where there's no trailers or anything out, and you get to experience stuff such as like that, which it'd be pretty cool, to be honest with you. I feel like I do have Pokemon Sword, so if I do verse Clara and she does have a, you know, a Galarian Dustox, and we haven't seen that through trailers or anything like that, that'd be pretty damn cool in my personal opinion. And then of course Shield exclusive of course goes to Beautyfly, to Avery. So Beautyfly might probably be a Psychic type, which of course, you know, with Avery he is the Psychic type user and Clara is the Poison. But that's really cool. So Seal and Dewgong get ones, which I'm a big fan of Seal. I'm not really too big of a fan of Dewgong, but maybe they'll get new Evos. And another thing is Phanpy, which it kind of bugs me out a little bit right here because I'm a big fan of Dolphin, and you know, not going to be in the game, which kind of sucks. But does that mean that if someone has a Dolphin in Pokemon Home, they're allowed to transfer it to this game right here? But I guess, you know, Phanpy will get kind of a new evolution, but it kind of reminds me of, like, let's say Poliwhirl evolves into Politoed or Poliwrath, one of those two, and it might be for this. But that's also alright. And then for this new information here, getting ingredients for Max Soup is super easy. There are hidden items that sparkle, as you know, that respawn throughout the Isle of Armor multiple times a day. That's the exact same thing with, of course, the wild area and Sword and Shield in general. Like, I would say if you're shiny hunting, right, in the wild area, and you go to the tree on the left by the nursery, there's always, like, let's say 2 tiny mushrooms there, or a tiny and a big mushroom, or if you get lucky, like 2 big mushrooms. It's really simple for that, and I like it. You know, it's still confusing with Max Soup right now, because of course it's probably going to be the ingredient to, like, let's say, get the Squirtle or Bulbasaur, you know, Venusaur or Blastoise or Gigantamax forms, or your starters, or maybe new Gigantamax Pokemon there, which still needs to be kind of uncovered in secrets and like that, or maybe we have to experience it for ourselves, but that's alright, that's pretty cool. The Crown Meter is actually a really cool feature that comes in handy. Well, yeah, why would they put it in the game if it doesn't come in handy? I don't know, man. That's when I read that, that's a little bit weird. And then I recommend choosing the Tower of Darkness because Single Strike Urshifu is more powerful than Rapid Strike. I was a little bit hesitant because I do like the design form more on the Dark type Urshifu than the Water and Fighting. Personally, for me though, I think I might go for Water and Fighting just to have that kind of element than Dark Fighting. I'm not really too sure on that yet. Maybe it'll just be like Scorbunny or Sobble when I first started Sword and Shield. I'll just flip a coin and whatever I get happens. But at the exact same time, I'm going to try to go for Shiny Cafu if it's actually not going to be Shiny locked. And I guess that's going to be really tough of what I really want to go for. But either way, let's move on. No Gigantamax form for Galarian Slowbro, which it looked true. You know, when we saw the little glimpse of the trailer, when we saw Avery actually put up a Galarian Slowbro, and it just looked like him in general, but just got bigger. So that's pretty good. But Galarian Dewgong and Phanpy's new Evo get one, as well as some other Pokemon such as Talonflame. Kurt is on the Isle of Armor to make Apricorn Balls, which that was another huge rumor not going around that Kurt, if you guys don't know him, he was a guy, of course, from Gen 2 that introduced the Apricorn Balls, which of course give you different kinds of Pokeballs that, you know, Ball Guy give to you throughout the games or within Sword and Shield. So that's a little bit interesting information, but like, yeah, Talonflame, Phanpy's new evolution, and Galarian Dewgong getting, like, I do believe we're going to get new Galarian type Pokemon. You know, we haven't really seen that yet. The only new ones that we've seen so far was, of course, Venusaur and Blastoise. But I could definitely see new ones out here, so I'm not too sure about Dewgong or Phanpy or whatever it might be. But I do think that they're going to have new Galarian forms for Pokemon that might have been in the game already or out of the game. So it's kind of like a mix and match right there. You could rebattle Mustard, Clara, and Avery once per day. Galarian Slowbro is your rival's ace, but they have a team of 5 with Pokemon such as Galarian, Dustox, and Beautyfly. So it's pretty cool. So, you know, Clara and Avery are going to have, you know, it's going to be a 6-on-6 battle depending on, like, what Pokemon you have. And, of course, they'll have 6 Pokemon right there, which is understandable. And you can battle them once per day, which I guess since, like, the XP charm that's coming out and you don't want to use, of course, candies or whatever it might be, you can just kind of face them back and forth, which I guess is a little bit cool and a little bit of information here or there, so that's alright. But yeah, that's really what we have for the Isle of Armor right now. The Crown Tundra information right here is going to be a lot more than, of course, the Isle of Armor, but it's alright, but I'll take it to a grain of salt. Like I said, I don't know if this stuff is legit or not, but it's interesting though. But now we go to the Crown Tundra, which the storyline takes about 5 hours, which makes sense. There's a lot more stuff happening in the game, so there's 1 more hour than the Isle of Armor. Map is bigger than Isle of Armor, that's true. New Galarian forms such as Slowcane, Poochyena, Mightyena, Apom, Ambipom, Deerling, and Sawsbuck, and more. Which, you know, Slowcane, it's been confirmed already. We don't really know what he looks like. It was just teased when we watched the trailer back in January about, like, what he potentially looks like. And then Poochyena, Mightyena, Apom, Ambipom, Deerling, and Sawsbuck. It's just like kind of like with Phanpy and Dewgong and all of them. Like it's a little bit back and forth. You know, this could be legit, this could be not, but very interesting. There are more new Gigantamax forms, including Calyrex, which new Gigantamax forms is to be expected. And then Galarian Slowcane is not as strong as Galarian Slowbro. That's kind of a bummer right there. And then Regigigas not in the DLC, which that's weird because, you know, especially with the old Regis coming back and these new Regis and everything like that, it's going to be very skeptical of what is going to be happening there. So that's going to be interesting. Both ports are actually really good. I do prefer the Crown Tundra, but Isle of Armor looks great, which I know the Crown Tundra is going to be a lot better than Isle of Armor. Both parts have many new things to do once you beat the story, and it's more entertaining to stay in the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra than any other areas in Galar, which it's to be expected, right? The game's been out since November. I know that a lot of people don't even want to be within Sword and Shield, like the game as it is right now. You know, you want to stay on the island and catch, you know, old Pokemon, the new Pokemon, train them up. There's going to be nurseries there, I bet, and, you know, Pokemon centers, so you're going to be able to shiny hunt and all that other stuff. So that's to be expected, a little bit of a thing. But I think the only like kind of like new information we got out of this leak is just like these new like Gigantamax, or these new Pokemon coming in. But the rest of it seems a little bit pretty legit. And other than that, it's you know, to be expected for story wise, you know, 4 to 5 hours. It's DLC, it's not the full game, so you expect them to be that long. But yeah, at least it's pretty cool information about that. But let's hop into the rumor going for 2021 for the new Pokemon. So I have this right here, guys. Of course, I'll leave it down in the description below if you guys want to check it out for yourselves. But here's a big thing, of course, from the anonymous Diamond and Pearl remix. This has been the huge rumor going around for Pokemon in the community that it makes sense for Diamond and Pearl remix. Like, it's literally the only one that hasn't got a remake yet, really, for Pokemon, and there's no point of even doing, you know, the Unova region or Kalos, or, you know, we just had Alola for, you know, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon and all that. So Diamond and Pearl is perfect for all this, and it makes sense as well for, you know, the new generation of people that want to get into Pokemon to be able to play Diamond and Pearl right here, because maybe they didn't get to play it back in the day, or even Platinum, whatever it might be. But it says the information right here, Diamond and Pearl remakes are coming to the Switch in April, like the original games in 2021. The names are Time Diamond and Space Pearl. So that's a little bit pretty cool right there, if that's legit, because, you know, we get the DLC in fall for the Crown Tundra, and then instead of having to wait, like, let's say a year for the next game to come out in November 2021, we get it in April, which that's where the original games came out back in the day. So that's pretty freaking cool, man, because, like, that's basically, like, what, 5 months of waiting after the Crown Tundra. And I don't know, like maybe you put like 2.5, maybe 3 months into the Crown Tundra to, you know, do your shiny hunting and complete the story, or dex wise, or whatever it might be. So that's actually pretty awesome, man. I like that. There are no wild areas, but you can control the camera, control it at all times, except in buildings. So that's pretty cool. You get a little bit neat to see everything here or there, what's outside. No wild areas, which I guess it's pretty cool. Like, I do like the wild area method, but kind of going back to like the OG Pokemons is always good. Megas are the feature, and it will be the feature for all future remakes. Lots of Sinnoh Pokemon are getting Megas, but I've only seen the starters. Well, it kind of makes sense a little bit because, you know, Garchomp, of course, is going to be introducing the Crown Tundra. You know, we already know what, of course, his Mega looks like, and it's to be expected that Megas are coming back as well. Like, it doesn't make sense, of course, Dynamaxing or Z Crystals or anything like that. Like, the only thing that fits for these remakes, personally, is Megas, and people want that, right, for like Infernape, Empoleon, Torterra, and, you know, many others right here. So that's pretty cool, man. I love Megas. Like, I think out of like all the selections that we've seen so far that's been new for Pokemon, Megas have definitely been the best in. I miss them. I want them to be back, and it looks like we'll be getting that right here. Like I said, this source is legit or not, but it's also a rumor throughout all of this. One thing about this is Torterra is an Ankylosaurus with a mountain range on its back, and Empoleon more gold on its body, and its flippers are Sword and Shield, which that's kind of funny. And then Infernape is a multicolored fire, and it sits in midair like Mega Alakazam, which that's pretty weird. I don't really know how I feel about that for Infernape, because I don't know, like I usually go with Infernape when it comes to the Sinnohs, you know, for the games, but I don't really know, man. That's to be expected for Torterra right there. You know, Empoleon, cool, like kind of gets like a Sword and Shield, and then you know, with Infernape right here, almost looking like Alakazam. I don't know, man. We'll just have to see. That's pretty cool, though. I just love seeing these 3 names here again. I love all of them. Well, Empoleon's like an F for me, but like Infernape and Torterra are definitely up there for starters, 100%. Right here it says Dialga gets a new form called Temporal Form, and Palkia gets a Spatial Form. So it's basically like it's like the primal forms of like Groudon and Kyogre when you played Oras, and it's to be expected for the legendaries to get something like this. They're basically the same as primal forms, like I just said, with the Adamant and Lustrous Orb acting as a source. It needs to have it as a held item, which makes sense. So it's kind of like with Groudon and Kyogre as well in Oras. No new Giratina form, but Arceus gets a new form. That's once again like a primal form. There's a post-game episode involving Giratina and Arceus, but it's a distortion world as everyone was expecting, which is pretty cool, and like that is what everyone is expecting, right, for Giratina and Arceus and all that other stuff. I think it just depends on mythicals of what's going to happen right there, because there are a lot of legendaries in Sinnoh. Like, I think they had like probably the most legendaries in Pokemon history, right? I'm not really too sure for one region. The story is the same as Diamond and Pearl, but it has some platinum elements, which is cool. Palo Park is replaced by the Safari Zone, which uses the Let's Go catching system. The rest of the areas use traditional style catching, of course. So that's pretty cool. Like, they're adding like the Let's Go feature to like the Safari kind of zone or the park right here. And then, you know, the original kind of Pokemon games that we all know and love for capturing Pokemon is in the base game, which is, I like that, right? It's kind of like a mix of half, all that other stuff. I like it how, like, Diamond and Pearl is the exact same. That's why I fell in love with it and love the Sinnoh region. The main features for Diamond and Pearl are back, such as the Underground and Contests, except the Battle Frontier and Villa, which will be added in the one-part DLC in the fall of 2021. So if you guys don't know, after, of course, you beat Cynthia, you go to, like, this different island in Sinnoh, and that's usually where the Battle Frontier and all that other stuff is in the game. And also to battle, like, a lot more trainers and to catch new Pokemon and all that stuff. And it's to be expected to maybe even get DLC for this game, so that's pretty cool. But, like, from like what we see right here for post-game and all that stuff, it's still pretty interesting, and I love that. Pokemon could follow you in all areas, and mostly the National Dex is back in the base game, and the rest will come back in the DLC. We'll have to see about that, man. Hopefully Game Freak can do that. The DLC also adds a new Sinnoh Island off the coast of Sinnoh, and all new mythical events from Platinum. It also adds something to the Pokemon World Tournament, where you could rebattle champions, gym leaders, and rivals of this game, as well as the others, as it's one-part DLC. It will cost $15. The map is the same as the original, so I like that, man. That's cool that they're gonna add new, like, kind of islands to Sinnoh right here, because if you guys don't know, back in the day, I don't know, like, if Darkrai had one, but I remember that with Darkrai personally, me and my brother, we had to actually use kind of like, I forget what it was called, like, it was like that action replay or whatever, to walk in the water and get the Darkrai. I don't remember, it's been so long, but I know with Cresselia, you had to do some stuff to be able to get onto her island, and eventually, like, if you don't catch her right, she goes all around the map, kind of like with Mesprit does with the lake Pokemon, and you have to eventually find it. It's kind of like with Heart Gold and Soul Silver with Entei and Raikou and all that stuff, but it's really cool to have them right there, you know, mythical Pokemon, there's a lot of them in here, and it looks like kind of like with Shaman as well, right, to get on the island, it's like right beside, where of course the Pokemon League is at. So that's really cool information. It's like I said, this is just a rumor, guys. I don't really know if it's legit or not. Some of it can be true, some of it of course can be false, and you know, I don't know, like I say for me, like I would say like I'm 10%, like 10% of it's real, and I would say 90% of it is fake. We'll just have to see for next year, man. Like, we're not going to get any news for the new Pokemon game until, like, after the Crown Tundra comes out. Like, I would say, like, maybe 2 or 3 months. Like, it's going to be next year until we get some sort of trailer. Like, my guess is, like, maybe for this year in January when we, of course, confirm DLC for Sword and Shield. And they'll probably do the exact same thing for 2021 to see if we'll actually get Diamond and Pearl Remix, or we'll get something else entirely. I'm not really too sure about it. But if you guys all enjoyed this, make sure, of course, to leave a like, comment down below. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions on all these rumors and speculations in Pokemon and all that other stuff? Currently, like I said, guys, we're 8 days away from the Isle of Armor being active. I'm really excited about it, and can't wait to post more content on here of Pokemon, and just hopefully you guys are happy about it, because I know I'm happy, and I can't wait to start playing it. Of course, as well, guys, make sure if you want to hit that subscribe, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much. And either way, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Have yourselves a great day, everyone. And of course, we'll see you guys in a brand new Pokemon video here shortly.